Alright, today we're going to do putting it all together, ratio, rates, and proportions. So in my last video we did the scale factors and I showed you how to solve them just by kind of reasoning it out. But now we're going to do it with proportions by creating ratios because you need two ratios to create a proportion. So what you do is you just set up your first ratio that you're given, which is our scale factor. 1 centimeter equals 35 miles. And then I'm given that on a map, two cities are 2.5 centimeters apart. So because centimeters are on top of my first ratio, I have to have them on top of my second one. So I got 2.5 centimeters. And I need to find how many miles. So I'll just put M down there for miles. So now I got a proportion I can solve. So I'm going to cross multiply 35 times 2.5. Let's work that out real quick. So 35 times 2.5. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 2 is 17. 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry my 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. So I get 875. But I got one decimal place there. So I get 87 and 5/10. So I get 87 and 5/10 equals 1 times M is just M. So that would mean that the two cities are 87.5 miles apart. Alright, so if I can do 50 math problems in 2.5 hours, how long would it take to do 400? So again, we set up a ratio. So 50 problems, I'll just abbreviate, in 2.5 hours. And I want to be able to do 400 problems. So that 400 is going to go on top, because that's where I put my 50. If you reversed it and you did 2.5 hours over 50 problems, then it's fine. You just put the 400 on the bottom of the second ratio. So there's more than one way to set these up. But either way you set it up, you need to make sure when you cross multiply you're doing the 400 times the 2 and 5/10. And I want to know hours, so I'll put H for hours. So we're going to cross multiply 40 times 2.5, or 400 times 2.5. So let's work that out. 400 times 2.5. So 0, 0, 20, 0, 0, 8. Add that up. One decimal place. So I get 1,000. That equals 50 times H would be 50H. So solve a proportion, cross multiply, then divide. So I'm going to do divide by 50. So I'm going to do 1,000 divided by 50. And really, you can make your life a little bit easier by taking off a 0 from both those. So 5 goes into 10 twice, which is 10. Subtract, got 0. 5 goes into 0, 0 times. So my answer there would be 20 equals H. So it would take me 20 hours to do 400 math problems. Alright, so let's do one more. I got two vehicles here. One goes 580 miles on 20 gallons of gas, and the other goes 423 miles on 15 gallons of gas. And I want to know which one's getting better gas mileage. And so to figure that out, I just need to turn both of those into a unit rate. Remember, a unit rate, you got to divide to get one of those equal to 1. And in this case, I want the gallons to equal 1 because I want miles per gallon, because that's how you're normally going to see it. You don't see gallons per mile, it's miles per gallon, because there's not too many vehicles that get less than 1 mile per gallon. So it's always going to be easier to do miles per gallon. So in this case, I'm going to start with the 580, and I'm going to divide it by the 20. So my ratio is 580 over 20. So I need to work out that 580 divided by 20. So again, you got zeros on the end of both those. So those are going to cancel each other out. So you just do 2 into 58. 2 goes into 5 twice, which is 4. Subtract, bring down the 8. 2 goes into 18 9 times. So that first car is getting 29 miles per gallon. Alright, so let's look at the second one. We're getting 423 miles on 15 gallons. So again, you do my division there. So 423 divided by 15. So 15 will go into 42 twice, which is 30. Subtract, I get 12. Bring down my 3. So 15 into 123, that'll go in 8 times. So 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 1 plus 4 is 12. So I get 120. Subtract, add a decimal so I can bring down a 0. And 15 will go in 30 twice, which is 30. No remainder, so I'm finished. So my second vehicle is getting 28 2/10 miles per gallon. So the first car is getting better gas mileage. So that's the car I'm going to choose to drive if I want to get the best gas mileage.